Bobosi Tiberius here with Super Budget Soul Sisters, round 2 of a Modern League. This hand is really risky. In a life gain deck, you really don't want to keep a hand that doesn't have a life gain creature. However, we have a path for if things get rough, and we have a Oketra into Bugler, which is great. Getting an Oketra down will be really strong. We're Thoughtseize vulnerable, but we're going to keep it. We are on the draw, so we might just draw a sister. Verdant Catacombs, so we are going to get Thoughtseized here. Overgrown 2, opponent down to 17, and here comes the Inquisition. Just Thoughtseize. I feel like it's the Monument. It might be the Bugler. Maybe it's the Path. Let's see. It's the Monument, so our opponent's down to 15. We will get to start with Windbrisk Heights next turn. There's an Archangel, so we got that going for us. We do love Archangel of Thune with 4 lands. Archangel of Thune is, if we can cast it, Archangel of Thune is really good against a rock deck. I'm going to get the Oketras here. Put this back in any order. Quick pause with the mic off. Sorry, it's about to get a little noisy in the house with the dog, so I'm trying not to have that hit the recording. Dark Confidant is fine. Back to our turn 3, we get an Isolated Chapel. So we do have enough mana to cast the Archangel once we get there. We're going to path the Dark Confidant right now, since our opponent is at 4 cards. We don't want them drawing cards, and if they rushed out a Confidant, they clearly want to draw cards. So we're just going to path it and hope for the best. Next turn we can play the Chapels untapped, which is very good for us. Our opponent got a forest instead of a swamp, so they can't play Lily. They can play another Dark Confidant. So double Bob hand seems good for our opponent. We can't answer this one, so... We'll go Chapel Militia Bugler to maximize our mana here. Would love to see a Pridemate. We do not see a Pridemate. We do see a Kitesail Freebooter, though, which feels very good against them. Helps kind of get rid of some of the card advantage they will be accumulating with Dark Confidant. Also, if we see something that can kill the Archangel, we can just take it. Goyf comes down. And an Inquisition. So Inquisition should take our Freebooter. It might take our Soul Warden, though. There's a chance it takes our Soul Warden. Takes our Freebooter, down to 3 cards in opponent's hand. They tap for 1 green, which is interesting. Trying to think of what they could run that's 1 green. Yeah, they wanted to tap for 1 black. To push my Bugler? Nope. They just made a mistake. They oopsied. We're going to path the Confidant here. We can handle a Goyf. We can't really handle the card advantage Confidant's going to give them. We want them to not have the extra card draw that Confidant will give them. This is a very iffy match right now. They're pretty favored. It's likely they have an answer to the Archangel, which is a problem for us, because that's kind of our only out at this point. If we are able to keep the Archangel around for a turn or two, we're in really good shape. They push Bugler. We're happy they push Bugler and not the Soul Warden. Not going to block with the Soul Warden at all. Another Goyf. Kor Skyfisher is neat. We're able to bounce a Soul Warden and play it again, potentially. We can do a lot with Kor Skyfisher, actually. We're hoping they don't have a... They do. Assassin's Trophy on the Archangel. So we're in trouble now. We were kind of hoping they didn't have the trophy, but they did. And now their situation is very much better than ours. We've got 1 turn to find an answer. Plains is not going to be the answer. We will cast Skyfisher, gain a life, and use Skyfisher to block, though. That buys us a turn. We'll return the Windbrisk Heights and pass the turn. Opponent doesn't have to do much but keep turning Goyf sideways, and they'll eventually get us if we don't draw an answer. And we don't draw an answer. So we'll call it there. For a 20 land deck to draw that many lands is kind of funny. Despark and Anguished Unmaking all come in, as does Remorseful Cleric, as does the Dusk. So we're bringing in 8 cards. We have no interest in the Freebooters and the Tidehollow Scullers. They're very weak to a push deck. And then we can side out a Oketra's Monument and an Archangel, and we'll submit that. Opening hand has a lot of removal but only one land. Do we be greedy here in the hopes that we draw a land? We have the path. Let's go for it. Famous last words. Let's keep this one lander. Our opponent mulls to 6, so we 0 for 1 them there. Let's go. And we'll start with a Soul Warden and pass. Opponent doesn't Thoughtseize us off the break either. We miss on land. Our deck is going to punish us after flooding. It's going to say, hey, we flooded last game, so here's no land for 3 or 4 turns. How's that feel? And then we're going to cry. Opponent finds a Goyf. We find another path. Opponent pushes our Warden, so we'll path their Tarmogoyf in response. Opponent now has Lily mana. Would have had it anyway. We don't see a land. But we do see another path. Kalatas is exactly the reason we bring in Despark. Would love to top deck an Isolated Chapel right here to get rid of the Kalatas. Instead, we'll just have to path it. Opponent's down to 2 cards. If we can draw a land, we can be in really good shape here. Kraken for 1. Somehow in the lead in life totals, even though they have a Goyf. Not like we're a life gain deck or anything. Getting a little funny about the drawing of land here. Remember, we did this to ourselves. The odds of not hitting a land in 12 cards. 1 land across 12 cards. Opponent is having the opposite problem. Opponent is somehow not out of basics. Cast the other Soul Warden just because eventually here, if we get ourselves in a situation where we still don't have land 2 turns from now, we don't want to have to discard things. Our opponent's also behind, so we want them giving us life every time they cast a creature. There's a Lily. We'll discard one Despark since it can't answer the Lily. I think we've now drawn all of... Yeah, we have now officially drawn all of our Path to Exiles. We'll discard another Bugler here. Oh, sorry, we'll discard one of the Buglers here. We would love the card draw, but we just have to keep the Despark because they have so much land. Whitemane Lion is a funny joke. We would love to be able to cast the Whitemane Lion just to put a quicker clock on Lily. Unfortunately, we are not able to do that. Languish. Languish is an ouch, but it does allow us to path the Soul Warden to get a land. And we'll obviously get the basic swamp. We're going to discard the Archangel here. Hate to see it go, but we're just never going to cast it this game. Another Whitemane Lion. Now we can't put pressure on Lily. We would love to be able to put pressure on Lily. It's kind of comical, the lack of land here. We are 16 draws in. We've drawn 16 cards this game, and only one of them has been a land. We'll discard one of the Whitemane Lions here. Can't cast a Whitemane Lion into itself, so we'll discard one. Opponent's still struggling. We have removal for days against our opponent, though. Oketra's Monument is another cruel joke from our deck here. There's a Goyf. Our opponent's not going to discard their last card. Cast a Pridemate. That language they drew was really clutch. They had a really good language there. We'll take 4. This may cause our opponent to minus Lily. Another language. That's just mean. And a Confidant. We'll discard a Whitemane Lion. This is cruel and unusual punishment. Like, I get it, I was greedy, but I was not don't draw land across 12 turns greedy. That's just rough. Inquisition takes the Monument, I believe it was. Yep. Seems impossible to win this game now. We'll get rid of the Despark. only thing we can hope for here is a land to get rid of the Lily, but even then, that predictable but cruel. Are we dead here? Sure, we'll put a Pridemate there. Yeah, that seems appropriate. And that's lethal. I can't complain. The amount of times I've kept one land and been... Opponent apologizes. The amount of times I've kept one land and gotten rewarded for it, you know, you do it. It was a greedy play. Let's see if we can get it back in the rest of the game. See you in the next one.